Now that Councilman Wilden's here, we'll call the meeting to order. For the City of Saratoga Springs, Tuesday, May 6th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Present tonight, we have Councilman Wadman, Karn, Wilden, McComber, and Barton. Have Councilman Wilden leading us in our invocation and Councilwoman Barton in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father in heaven, and we're grateful this evening, and we're grateful to be gathered as the mayor and council, and we're grateful for the opportunity to review these things that are being presented to us and make decisions for the betterment of our community and our neighborhood and our friends. And we ask Thee to bless us this evening, that we'll be able to make good choices, and we ask Thee to bless all those who live and work and reside in this city. And these things we say in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise and repeat the pledge of me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have recognition for UCMA presentation of Emerging Leader Award.
Hello, Mayor Miller and distinguished council members. My name is Wendy Thomas.
My name is Dustin Graybaugh. We're here as representatives of the Utah City and County Managers Association Board to recognize Owen Jackson and his amazing contributions to your city and our profession.
Owen Jackson was nominated by your city manager and selected by a committee to receive the UCMA Excellence Award for his exceptional contributions in growth and leadership in Saratoga Springs. Since 2013, he has been instrumental in driving economic development and fostering a collaborative and respectful workplace.
Owen was promoted as the Assistant County Manager, as you know, in 2017. He received his credential from the International City and County Managers Association in 2022. I think the city's benefits from Owen have ranged from his impacts on your new administration building, his advocacy for you at the state level, his commitment to his staff and their well-being, and I think he's an extremely competent example of leadership in our profession.
UCMA would like to formally recognize Owen for his work and dedication to local government, as well as outstanding leadership, not only here in Saratoga Springs, but across the state as well. So we'd like to formally applaud your efforts, Owen.
So,
Would you like to say a few words?
Wait, Mark's gonna get a picture too.
Oh, Mark's.
I have to get a picture.
With you too, yeah.
Council knows I hate this, so.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to do it.
And Annalise is not here, but we.
Does the mayor want to?
Mayor, do you want to join us?
Sure.
Thanks. Rest your chin on his shoulder.
Can we do a little?
Mark, make sure you do vertical for the social media.
I'm not Steven, there's no hugging you.
Thank you very much. Do you want a speech from Owen, Mayor?
Yes, please. 20 minutes.
Seconds, what? No, just kidding.
Sure, I will take a minute. Thank you, extremely honored to get this recognition from my peers and Mark for nominating me. We're doing some really awesome things here in Saratoga Springs, so happy to be part of the team. And yeah, and thank you to Wendy and Dustin for coming and taking time out of their schedule to come and promote our profession, as we are horrible at doing it ourselves. So anyway, thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have public input. Time has been set aside for the public to make comments for items not listed on the agenda. If you're here for the public hearing, please hold your comments for the public hearing. Time is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. Please avoid repetitive comments. Keep comments to 3 minutes each. Is anybody here for public input? Seeing none, I will close public input. Go on to reports. Are there any reports from the council? Councilwoman Barton?
This isn't really, I mean, it's not a report, just another shout out for Owen. And what I love about Owen and Mark is just that they work so well together. So they really work well off of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and a lot of bantering, but in a good way. And I think we're so lucky. As we go around to these different conferences and stuff like that, you get to meet other city managers and assistant city managers. And you just realize how lucky we are to have both of them. And how, again, how well they work together and what they do for our city. So big shout out again. Thanks, Owen. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you guys.
Okay. Perfect. Mark, administration?
We do have need for a closed session tonight, so we will be doing that. Otherwise, obviously, we had our departmental reports in the packet. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out. Things are progressing. We've got interim, the legislature's interim committee will be taking place in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, so that's coming back up. It never ends. So we've got that going on, and then we are excited with just all the projects we've city. Jeremy's got some projects out, and we'll be bid at our next council meetings, in addition to a bid award tonight. But we should have some road projects coming before you very quickly. I think that's about it. We're on target for the mid-July cemetery opening and begin selling plots in in June after Splash. Sorry, Mayor, didn't mean January. That's all I've got for you tonight. Thank you.
Okay. We have civic events.
It's up to me. Mayor and council, we are excited to be looking at our summer events here. We are in the thick of Splash and our Summer Monday Fun Days plan. So, all right, just to, so we start off this year, because of the way the calendar falls, we have 2 Monday Fun Days before Splash Days. These are just some of the highlights. Every Monday, we have a concert or some other similar entertainment at Neptune Park, June 2nd through August 11th. And then our farmers market is added to that starting on June 16th. And that was a huge success last year, and we are looking forward to not having a late season freeze kill off all the farmers again. So we have much more produce on tap already for this year. It was a great start, and because we have more farmers coming, we're able to open up the SNAP benefits and things like that, where people can buy produce with their SNAP benefits at the park, and they get an extra $5 to spend because of the program per purchase. So things like that, we're really excited how that is tying into our Healthy Saratoga Springs coalition to provide that opportunity for our residents. Some of the other highlights, June 30th will be our Salute to America. There will be the fireworks show again. We'll have twice as much cake to serve if you are on board. So, and then we have some other fun things this year. We have a night where we're doing line dancing. We have a night where we have a Mexican folk dance group coming called Danza y Color. We have a talent show towards the end of summer. So if you are feeling like singing or dancing, bring it on.
And this is all at
So-
Neptune Park.
Yep, all of it at Neptune Park on our stage. The farmer's market will be moving over to the other side of the park, or the other side of the sidewalk this year, so they can spread out a little more to the west. So, yeah, pop-up car show, all kinds of fun things. So if you have any questions, the full lineup of entertainment is on the city website, but feel free to reach out if you have any questions about that. And then our farmer's market does go through Labor Day. That's kind of when the peak of their growing season is, so we don't want to cut them off too early. I don't know where to point my clicker. Is it going? Oh, it's not doing anything. Sorry. It's not clicking. Okay, so Splash Days. Our theme this year is As You Wish. Our movie we're showing is The Princess Bride. So that is kind of guiding our planning this year. We have some of our perennial favorites, the Splash Bash and Teen Chalk War that first day, and the opening night of the carnival, which is aimed more for younger kids, so it's a great night to have our teen event. Then the Thursday night, we have our full Pirate and Princess Fair, which is, that's the night we show our movie. So just to kind of give you guys some teasers, that big pirate ship that you can see on there, that will be there. It's gigantic, and the kids can climb through it and play in it. We have live jousting. We have a rock wall to climb the Cliffs of Insanity. We have lots of different booths and activities that are all themed around the Princess Bride. So it will be, the Dread Pirate Roberts will be there with his pirate ship. So, fun night. And then we have added, I think, I want to say, Chris, that you had asked us about expanding the boutique last year. It is 3 days. This year we've added Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday for our vendors. Have an extra day in there. Friday night, it's Friday the 13th, so it will be fantastic. No storms. It's going to be great. So we'll have our drone show following our concert. So that was a big hit last year. So we have expanded that this year. The parade, we are hopeful that everything will go off smoothly with the widening of that road.
The parade's the 14th, right?
Yes. Oh, I put the 13th on there first. I was so excited for Friday the 13th. I'm sorry, that should be a 14. 12, 13, 14.
The 12th is the movie, correct?
Yes, after the Pirate and Princess Fair. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. So yes, the parade, that last one should all be the 14th. So we had a great time with our fireworks show last year. People just naturally started congregating early and playing. We're expanding our yard games and just like that small town feel at Patriot Park with the pickleball tournament. The carnival is still happening at Neptune during that, so that you can see the fireworks from both places, and we have expanded our fireworks show a bit as well. So that's the high-level overview. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Councilman Carn?
I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there's been a request to get a list of rides from the carnival operator that we can publish.
Yes, we are working on that. They expect their full, I saw the question today about, there was
There
another
was
one that
some
nobody
concern
had.
that we didn't have as many bigger rides last year.
Yes.
And then are we going to announce who the concert is Friday night?
It's the Salamanders. It's the group that we had last year and we didn't get their full,
Okay,
so.
they were good.
Yeah, they were
just got a
fantastic,
lot of
yeah.
weather, yeah.
Yep, so,
Okay.
yeah.
And then, Mark, do we have any concern with the fireworks? I know the fire department's been trying to burn that field and they've kind of struck out a little bit. Are we gonna get that done before the fireworks, do you know?
At least it's on the other side.
Fire's not here to defend themselves. They're great at putting them out. It was not ideal conditions.
It was
for
really wet. I went over
starting
there when
them.
they were doing it, yeah.
No.
Fire did it, they did it the first time and then they came back and so.
The second time they burned a much bigger.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so we're okay, and we've been coordinating with the City Hall construction site and others so that they're aware of it, and so.
So if there's more burning, they may be able to get to it depending on conditions, but clearly, today or this week has not been indicative of a good burn season, so. But as far as fireworks go, even if it's not, we'll get our crews out there to take care of it, and we always have fire watch during those.
And then my only other concern is because of the change of venue this year. Just make sure we advertise about the parade location, because we're moving it, right?
No?
We're not gonna move it.
We are planning on our traditional route.
We have worked with the contractor to make sure that the parade route is kept open. There may not be parking on the east side of the field,
Okay,
but generally speaking, the route, yeah.
we're sticking with it this year.
Mayor and council, we are not trying to disrupt anything that
All right.
we do historically. So, yeah, it's,
Perfect.
it's in the works.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Would be great.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, consent items. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve consent items on the agenda?
I have a first from Councilman Carn,
Second.
second from Councilman Wadman. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-2026 final budget and pay plan, no tax increase.
Mayor and council, I feel like I've been here every single meeting for like the last 3 months. This is a accumulation of just a lot of different meetings and everything else. There's been a couple changes to the budget, among which are the increase to the elections budget and increase to the fleet and equipment replacement budgets. Any questions for staff at this time?
We've looked at it many, many times, so.
I did have one question. I know we are approving like the pay plan. Is that still like just approving the potential increases, or are we actually approving increases with this now?
So the pay plan is always based on performance of individuals, and so we are adopting the pay plan, we are budgeting for it, and we're setting the money aside, but it is completely contingent upon the individual's merit and how they're performing as to whether they actually receive those. There are market adjustments when we redid the pay plan last July, there are market adjustments that take place July 1, and that's to keep up with the market. And then and that's for a small percentage of the positions that are needing market adjustments. But the rest of those would be anniversary and based on performance, whether they met their goals and things of that nature. Did that tackle your question? Sorry.
No, that did. I do, like, I don't have any concerns with approving this. I think maybe like in a work session or something like that, we ought to discuss like some of those specific market adjustments before they're applied. So I just don't, that's just me. I just don't know that I would want to say, okay, all these up to the maximum amount, we're good with this approval right now, because we've never really had that specific discussion.
So are we open discussion here?
Yeah.
I was okay with the market adjustments. I would like to talk about the other percentages.
That was on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the market. That's
Well, the
same
market,
thing.
no,
Are those two different things?
there were market adjustments off the pay plan study we did to bring people to the mid-level. And there are a few employees that were doing, that had that, but then there's also the, just the annual increases percentages. Anyways, I think we should talk
Same
about it.
thing, I guess.
Okay.
I'd just like to discuss the benchmarking and the cycle that's becoming vicious, having talked with peers in other cities. Some of them are like, we're having a hard time keeping up with you because our staff's running to benchmark, and then we're benchmarking them, and we're in the nasty washing machine right now. Self-inflated washing machine, I guess. So anyways, but that doesn't affect tonight's
Yeah.
adjustment, but we'd love to have it come back. Okay?
Well, not the budget.
Not the
right?
budget,
Just
correct.
a conversation.
Conversation around it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so we will open it to the public. Anybody here for the public hearing, please limit comments to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetitive comments and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion if there's no more discussion from the council.
I move that we approve fiscal year 2025 to 2026 final budget and pay plan with the no tax increase ordinance 25-32 dated today, with any staff findings and conditions, which I don't think there are any.
I'll second.
I have a first from Councilman Comber, second from Councilman Wilden. Any further comments?
The question is, when is the last time the city raised taxes?
We never have in like the last
It's been like probably,
18 years ago.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's been at least,
It was 2007? 2027.
It was before.
about
it
18
was-
Not
years.
27.
It was 18 years.
2000.
so there's been 3
2007.
tax decreases
We've reduced it 3 times in
with
the
no increases.
last decade and a half, almost 2 decades.
I believe it was 2007 or 2008.
All right.
And that was the first tax increase they'd ever done because they were on the county rate and it took them to a municipal rate because the city had been growing. And so it looked like a big increase, but it really wasn't.
And
Then-
you have to remember the financial crisis that was taking place at that time. You know, that was the only revenue stream that the council could control, because sales tax, they don't control, you know, the developer fees and things that were coming in.
makes
I just think it's important to point that out.
Yeah.
When people don't like growth, but growth is what funds the ability to
Not raised.
not raise property tax.
And in fact, reduce it 3 times. And even this time, we could have maybe, but with all the things that we're doing with roads and
Right.
City Hall, it just wasn't the time. But we didn't have to raise taxes to do all that.
Right, right.
Shop in Saratoga.
Yeah, buy local.
Shop local. Okay, I have a first and a second. No further discussion. Wadman?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
McComber?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. We will recess the city council meeting, and we'll go into the Community Development Renewal Agency meeting. So present tonight for this meeting, I have Board Member Carn, McComber, Wadman, Wilden, and Vice Chair Barton. So we do have a quorum. We have a public hearing on the resolution approving the fiscal year 2025-2026 CDRA.
Okay, no changes from last time. The budget is 0. We already budgeted for this year the amount to pay off Costco and the rest of it, and so that'll just carry forward after we make, I think we already made it, didn't we? It's in process. So, any questions for staff at this time?
Nope, I will open up the public hearing. And is anybody here for the public hearing on the fiscal year 2025-2026 CDRA? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilman McComber, you had a question?
Just a comment. I just want, you touched on it briefly, but just for those in the audience, to help them understand, Costco was the main driver to this. We had a deal with them that was very unique. We didn't even give them 100% of the sales tax. We had it tiered over time. And even with that, because we sort of were joking earlier, buy local, Saratoga Springs residents and all residents around the area, Eagle Mountain, Lehigh, we appreciate them coming to our Costco and shopping here because we've been able to not only meet the contractual obligation with them, but we're going to beat it by quite a few months. In fact, Mark, if you wanted to give maybe a little bit more detail, I just think it's really cool that the residents have helped step in to make this a success as well.
This is the only CRDA deal that we've done as a city. And to remind the council and the public, this was to largely reimburse them for the improvements that they made. They were responsible to build Medical Drive. They were responsible for building part of Exchange. They were, they brought in huge storm drain improvements, which were beyond what necessarily their project scope did. So this is us reimbursing them for their investment into the infrastructure and the community that they were doing. So they've been great partners, and we anticipate that we'll have that deal closed out next year sometime.
Early next year, correct? Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. I will entertain a motion.
I'll move that we accept it on the minutes at the same time.
Sure.
I'll move that
We do
we,
that, Kevin? Okay.
I'll move that we approve public hearing item 1 as stated on the agenda and also the minutes for March 18th, 2025.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a first from Councilman Wilden, second from Councilman McComber. Any further discussion? Barton?
Aye.
McComber?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
Harn?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Sorry, that was Board Member Wilden, Board Member McComber. Okay, we will adjourn that meeting, and we will go into the local building authority meeting. Present tonight, we have Trustee Barton, Trustee Carn, McComber, Wadman, and Wilden. So we do have a quorum. We have a public hearing on the resolution adopting the final budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Okay, this is the final budget for the LBA, the Local Building Authority. The budget is primarily for paying off the bond, the annual payments we have to make for the bond for the new City Hall / library. Any questions for staff?
So the budget number is the payment on that bond?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. This is a public hearing. Is anybody here for the public hearing for the local building authority? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing in the minutes.
I move to approve the public hearing item 1 and minutes as listed on the agenda with any staff findings and conditions.
I'll
I have
second
a
it.
first from Trustee Carn
Second.
and a second from Trustee Barton. Any further discussion? Wadman?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Barton?
Aye.
Comber?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We will adjourn from the LBA meeting and go back into our city council policy meeting. And go to business item 1, consolidated fee schedule update.
Mayor and council, as asked, staff has looked into candidate filing fee, and we looked at various cities and what they do. Goes from nothing for several. The average of those that are charging filing fees are around $50, $75. Some are looking to increase recently, and it goes all the way up to $500 in Salt Lake. I think Orem and Provo each are $150 for mayor filing and $75 for city council.
And we looked at our numbers, and we could charge hundreds of dollars for this filing fee just based on the work that the recorder does in handling just a single application, but we opted to keep that fee lower. But per your request, we did look at that, and, you know, it's hundreds of dollars is what it costs us to deal with each individual application for council, but we're recommending only the $50 fee at this time.
And we're looking just having one fee for both, because most cities have a different fee for the.
No, most have the same.
okay.
The
'Cause you just
larger, the
mentioned-
larger cities
Oh,
have,
okay.
have a different, yeah.
One question I had is, these fees go to pay for the work that goes towards running an election.
Doesn't even cover it.
It doesn't even cover it, yeah, I know, but somebody asked me when we anticipate the 2025 election packet to be done. Because right now, we've got the 2023 packet, I think, on our website.
It is mostly done, but we were waiting for these code changes to come through the state. So
Okay.
those are effective tomorrow. So it's just a matter of double checking that we got all the right things in the right places.
So in the next week or two, we'll have.
Oh, yeah, next week for sure.
Well, and one thing that I just want to emphasize, this year fees went up considerably for the elections from the county. I believe we're, what, $75,000 per election? So from a practical standpoint, obviously it's democracy. We want people to run if they feel so inclined. But if, you know, if people, if we have a primary, it will cost us another $75,000. So just the election will be $75,000. And then an
Just to
additional
clarify,
75
so the primary and the general, if we have.
150.
That's $150,000.
Right, for both, right?
Correct.
I don't know if
150.
people realize that.
Yeah, so.
No, we pay the county to run our election.
If there's a primary, pay for it, if there's general, we pay for it.
Yes, and so again, you know, it's democracy, we're all for it, but, you know, we want to make sure that people understand that if
twice
they're
now.
not fully committed, there is a huge price tag associated with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this can help with that as well. And the paperwork, you know, just one candidate, you guys are well aware of all the forms you get to file. I have to forward those on to, you know, the other offices, lieutenant, county, post them on the website, do all the noticing and that, so.
And then with each financial disclosure, it's just continual
Yeah.
paperwork. But again, that's what we do, that's our job, this is
We'll
great.
do it regardless.
We just want to make sure, though, that we do have just the minimum fee that we're recommending.
That's perfect. Okay, if there's no other discussions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval of business item 1 as stated on the agenda, including any staff findings.
I have a first from Councilman Wilden,
Second?
second from Councilman Carn. Any further discussion? McComber?
Aye.
Barton?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We have business item 2, Still Ridge Plaza Lot 7 Site Plan.
Mayor and council, this is a major site plan amendment for Lot 7 in Steel Ridge. It's the southeast lot in Steel Ridge Plaza. So it's the lot that's on Riverside Drive there. You can see that here, shown where the star is. Essentially what they're wanting to do is change the materials, some of the materials and colors on the buildings. They had some materials planned at preliminary and site plan. Those materials are unavailable, and so they have to make some changes. These are the elevations. These are what were approved at site plan, so they're not changing the elevations of the building per se, but they are changing the materials, and you can see that here. So on the left-hand side are the originally approved materials, and then on the right, I'm sorry, did I say on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side are the materials that they're proposing. And so you can see these are what the original renderings looked like, and these are what the proposed elevations would look like. You can see it's kind of a lighter color palette. They're still using stone. They're still using some metal siding. Overall, yeah, and it's just because it is an architectural change, that's why it has to come to city council.
Okay, Councilman McComber?
I mean, as I reviewed it, I see that, I mean, it complies with all of our requirements, you know, on the elevations, the different materials, the colors still blend pretty nicely with the surrounding area, so I personally don't have any problems with this. I think it actually looks quite nice, and I think it'll fit in nicely in the Steel Ridge area, so.
Okay. Councilman Wadman?
So just to make sure there's no
change in elevation around
Yeah.
the building or anything like that?
Yeah, on these buildings, they have not changed. Not, like, the walls are still the same, the roof line is still the same, that hasn't changed.
Okay.
Okay. There's no other discussion. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve business item 2 as listed on today's agenda with any staff findings and conditions.
I have a first from Councilman McComber,
Second.
second from Councilwoman Barton. Any further comments? Barton?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
Wilden?
Aye.
McComber?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. And then we have the rezone and development agreement for Skyline Properties.
Yeah, so this item, I'll just go here. So we're just finding out that this item is actually, we had a legal review of this item, and for legal purposes, we can't approve it tonight. The development agreement was missing some pages. We can continue it on to the next meeting, or we can discuss a little bit and then continue it on anyways.
So we continue it till we're ready. Is that, okay?
I'm Aaron Larson, and I didn't realize we were missing some pages. Bob Coons wasn't able to be here tonight, so I'm in his place. So if that's what we need to do, we can do that.
Okay. Mark, you had a comment?
Yeah, just, it's unfortunate, but because there were pages missing in the development agreement, we're not recommending taking action on this. It wasn't available to the public, and at the same time, it was not available for you to review, so.
Can the table be appropriate
Or continue.
or continue?
Yeah, I would just table it to the next meeting.
Table to the next meeting.
And we'll make sure we get all the pages in the packet the next time. But it's hard to vote on an item that you haven't seen and the public hasn't had a chance to review.
And can we put it as one of the first business items since they patiently waited through this meeting?
Would you like us, if there's no issues, are you okay if it goes on the consent calendar?
Not a,
This is a rezone.
yeah, let's put it on the regular business item 1.
Business item 1.
Why don't we just talk through it since he's here? Just don't take a motion.
We didn't have it in the packet for the items to discuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it to the front of the agenda.
It's up to you. I mean, in the past, that's been the direction that we've been given. From a transparency standpoint, it
Yeah.
makes sense to
I think
table.
for transparency, we're just better to keep what we've
Yeah.
done, but definitely to have them on as business item 1. Since they patiently waited through today, they can be first.
Just so I'm educated, is it something we did on our end, or is it, what do we need to do?
Didn't get
to
public
resolve it?
notice correctly on our end, I guess. It was missing from a packet.
So the applicant sent us the signed version of the agreement, but they didn't send us the full agreement. They just sent signature pages. And we just stuck it in the packet, making the assumption it was the full version.
Okay.
So we own it too. Sorry about that.
It's both, I think, you know.
One more detail, they did mail in a paper copy, the original copy, and we were anticipating the original copy would have all the pages, and it didn't, so, yeah.
Okay. So we'll get it noticed and have you first on the next meeting.
Out of curiosity, do you want to discuss the items so that there's less to discuss next time since they are here, or would you?
I'm here and wait for them to hear
I'd rather wait till we have it.
until we've public noticed it. Okay.
So when will that be? Just
2
20th.
weeks.
weeks?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure if there is public comment, stuff like that, we have that.
And
Yeah.
and the pages, do you need me to send all the pages, or can we just print those and add them to the signature?
Why don't you work with the planning department to make sure you've got all that information for us?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Do we need to make a motion to table it, Kevin, or are we just good with? Okay. I will entertain a motion to table this to item, business item 1 next
I moved
time.
to table business item 3, rezone and development agreement for Skyline Properties for 2 weeks from now, and with a request to staff to make it the first business item.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a first from Councilman Carn, second from McComber. Any further discussion? Wilden?
Aye.
Wadman?
Aye.
McComber?
Aye.
Carn?
Aye.
Barton?
Aye. Sorry, did you hear that? Sorry.
Motion
Quiet.
passes unanimously.
Mayor, can we go back into administrative reports real quickly, just some
Okay.
late information? Jeremy just notified me that the request that we had made with Utah Transit for additional $4.1 million. We're meeting with them on Friday. We just received notification that there is only 3.7 million available, and so that's what we'll be discussing with them. But per your request, we've reapplied for the 4.1. 3.7 is available, and we anticipate that that will be up for their approval potentially on Friday. That would go towards additional funding of Pony Express projects, as we have previously discussed. So that in conjunction with the approval of the contract we did last meeting for the Mountain View Corridor widening, we'll be moving forward and bringing you additional bids for Pony Express projects.
Okay.
Mark, with that difference in dollar amount, are we able to still address the needs we wanted to?
It's a $50 million price tag on all the roads, so we'll probably,
okay.
I mean, we're going to just keep moving forward because we understand this is a huge priority for the council, and so we'll just charge ahead. Yes, it's an impact, but it's certainly not something that's worth delaying. And we certainly, they wouldn't have additional funding available till September, the September meeting, so we'd prefer to get that money going and get those projects bid and out and charge ahead.
Thank you.
I do want to add to that conversation. There's still some optimism, I think, with the low bid price we got on Mountain View Corridor and that $3 million. We are, we had initially hoped to get 11 million on that low interest loan, and we're probably somewhere closer to 9.5. So it's still 9.5 million, is still very helpful. And then when we bid out, if we get better prices, I am submitting, it's due this Friday, is the community project funding through Congressman Burgess's office. We're asking for $4.5 million on that. I was able to get letters of support from the executive directors of UTA and UDOT, so I think we have a very strong application. And if we get that money, coupled with some potential good bid prices, I think there's still a lot of optimism that we can.
Can that be used for road?
That's specifically for, yeah, so the application, I'm calling it the Pony Express completion. It's like,
Okay.
if you just give us this money, we can get to the finish line. So
That's great.
still a lot of things in the works, still some unknowns, but I think a lot of.
What's the timing on that?
It would be 26 appropriations.
2026, right. So if you remember, last time we talked, you directed us to kind of focus east to west. So with the money on the state low-interest loan, the UDOT, and the low bid prices, we think we currently are positioned to at least 5 lanes east of Saratoga Road. We still are waiting for the fund, that 14 million for the bridge doesn't come in 8. And then with the 2026 CPF funding, the goal would be to package all of that. We could come back to you with some discussion if you wanted to advance funds, prior to 2028. But I think until some of these pieces fall into place, it seems premature to make those decisions now.
And one of the things that we talked about at the offsite is we could potentially pre-fund or we could get a reimbursement agreement with the county and with MAG so that we could move forward on the bridge project and potentially some of these other projects early with the hope of reimbursement at future. But we need to go through a design process for the bridge. We need to go through that. So we need a reimbursement agreement with the county. And then that starts dominoes of some of these other projects as to how do we want to go about them? Do we want to be more aggressive in our funding of these various road projects? But again, we're keeping the eye on what we can afford, what we can do, and move forward with the projects that are available for us.
Okay. Perfect. We do have a need for closed session. I'll entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
I have a first from McComber, second from Karn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll take a short 5-minute recess while we get ready for closed session.